guys would have seen in French, we have things like these, you know, on some of the letters, right? Or this, or we have this on O, like a little cap type of thing. We have this on E, we have this on E. What else do we have? We have sometimes we have this on I as well, two dots. Okay, we also have this. Okay, and then we have yeah, basically this it can go on E as well, it can go on O as well, it can also sometimes go on A. Okay, and then we have this. Mostly these are the accents. Okay, so these all the things which are on top of letters, these are called accents. If we use this letter with or without an accent. So let's say we have E over here. On the other hand, we have E with the accent over here. What difference does it gonna make?
The simple E would be pronounced as and
Yeah,
the other one with the accent would be pronounced as A or A.
A. See, and
A.
not A. This will be
Yeah.
pronounced as A. Okay. Yeah. That there is a difference between pronouncing this E and there is a difference between pronouncing this E. See, pronunciation patterns, they have two main aspects, accents. The other aspect is going to be our alphabet patterns. So accents have what? These are all the accents. And the other pronunciation patterns are alphabetic patterns. Let's move on to the accents. The first accent we have is agu, which is also called acute accent. That basically means short. Okay, and over here, you can also remember with the same thing. See, this is if you see the line over here. This is the acute angle which is getting created. So this accent will be short accent. We just did some examples. La, be. Okay, it's pronounced very shortly. Be, la, be. Now, Tulika, how would you pronounce this?
Le café.
Yeah, le cafe. Right. Abhishek, I'm gonna give you a little complex one. If you can try pronouncing this.
Lo,
Yeah,
lo, uh, this, this, uh, desig,
désir. Le
desig.
désir. You might be able to guess what does this mean?
Yeah, desire, I guess.
Yeah. Now, Abhishek, try this one.
Lo. Now it is
Yeah,
alright.
yeah,
Lo,
yeah.
medicine.
So this will be short, le médecin. Yeah, we also have another pronunciation pattern which we will cover in alphabetic patterns. Okay, so whenever we have in as a combination, in always gets pronounced as a. Okay, le médecin. So this le,
Le musée.
yeah, perfect. Le musée. This actually means museum. Now,
No.
I'll also tell you one more thing about agu, agu. What happens is, in English, we have some words such as stay, student, or sponge. Basically, there will be some more, but I'm just giving some examples. In some words, what happens is this agu, it replaces s. So if I have to say state in French, I will say it like this. État. Okay, état. And it looks very similar, right? You just replace S with aigu. For student, l'étudiant. Okay, this means the student. Éponge, l'éponge.
We do this for every word that starts with S.
No. There are just some certain words. You don't do this for all the words because obviously, like that doesn't happen. The next accent we have is grave. Okay, and that is this. Whenever we see this on E or this on A, or it can even happen on U, And so what basically it does is it extends the pronunciation of that particular sound. Abhishek, can you pronounce this word for me?
Mac.
La mer.
La Mac.
See, it's, I would say the pronunciation of this or accent graph, it's more for E, especially for E, it's in between those two. Okay, it's over here. You don't really pronounce it as a very big A. Okay, you don't really pronounce it as A. Okay, it's somewhere in between. La mer. Tulika, can you tell me what does this mean?
The brother.
Yeah. And how would you pronounce this?
Love crash.
Yeah, you're almost right. Yeah. Le frère. Le frère. The word, Tulika, can you try pronouncing this one?
La
Mhm.
crème.
La crème.
The cream.
Yeah, cream. Okay, like ice cream and things like that. Cream. We also have A graph. We also have U graph. Okay. So we're gonna basically touch on those ones as well. Okay. So for this one, if you have only this word, if you see only this word somewhere, this will mean here or there. Okay. It's kind of like a preposition. If you see this word, là-bas, that means over here or over there. Difference between pronunciation of this la and this la, you will be very clear how this will be pronounced.
It's La, and the
Yeah,
second one is La.
yeah, yeah. So it's very, this one is very small. Ah, la. Okay, la femme. That is a little bigger. La. We also have this accent. It can also be, see, there can also be some places where we don't have accent, but that in that case, again, it is pronounced as small u. It is pronounced as u, and this one will be pronounced as oo. Ooh. Okay. Just to take some example, we have these two words in French. Mostly you will be able to see this grave accent on U in this word. Ou means or, this or that. Whereas this ou means where. Where are you? Okay, if we translate this whole sentence into French, où vous êtes. So où and où. Let's move on to the next accent we have is, so this accent in French, it's called circumflex, but in English, it's called circumflex. This accent is mostly found in A, E, I, O, and U. If the English word contains an S that is missing in the French word, you may assume that the French word will need a circumflex accent, which fills the space created by the disappearance of S in French. Now, what is happening is in French and in English, wherever we have word S before T, but in French, if we don't have that S, instead of that, what will happen with the vowel is we will be adding that circumflex on it. In some cases, that happen with EAGU as well. In some cases, it will happen with circumflex as well. In English, we have this word cost. In French, this is getting changed to le, C-O-U-T, le coûte. See, nothing happened. This accent wouldn't really get pronounced as anything. It just exists because there was a change from English to French in the spellings. In English, we have this word, this, which basically means party or a fest, la fête, which basically means the party. Okay, once you guys, if you want to reach, if you want to give TEF Canada exam or whatever French exam, once you do it, you will do this, you will do the party. The another word we have is this. Now, okay, now I'll make you guys change this word into French word. So Abhishek, can you try removing this S,
Fore.
this, and now what will happen? This, pointing out that whenever S gets removed, we will be having this circumflex. Now this will be pronounced as la forêt. Tulika, can you change this word into French. Now over here, P is our main focus. Whatever happens before P, that will be getting removed.
So O with circumflex,
Yeah,
P, ITL.
L apostrophe l'hôpital. So I'll just give you more examples so you are just familiar with those examples, and then we will move further. So we have the interest, which means l'intérêt. Yes, pasta. That will be la pâte. We have one more accent, say deal. You can remember one thing. The name of this accent starts from C, so it will be used under C. Okay. Now, what is used under C as an accent? The opposite C. So this is mostly found with C before the vowels A, O, or U. Okay. Now, what difference does it create? If we have C with the vowel and then the whole word like this, or then this C gets pronounced as K. Le carnival. Le comportement. Whenever we have C ending with U or CO or CA, it is pronounced as K, right? But what if we have to change that pronunciation of K into S? Then what will happen is we will add an opposite C. So now we know that this will be getting pronounced as soft C. That means S. Abhishek, can you tell me how will this be pronounced? Have you seen this? This is actually in itself a word. Como ça va? Como ça va? Is a question in French, which means how is it going? Okay. For CO, we can take an example of this. Now, if someone remembers what this means, le garçon.
Le garçon.
If the cedille was not present over here, we would pronounce it as garçon. Abhishek, how would you pronounce this?
La leçon.
Leçon, S. It's more
Leçon.
like S.
Okay.
La leçon. You might have seen this same thing in one more thing, right? With A as well. So it exists with A as well. You know, it can exist with any vowel. Obviously, C can come with any vowel. But whenever C will have cedille under it, it will always be pronounced as S. Otherwise, it will be pronounced as K. Okay, now let's move on to another accent, which is called diaeresis, or is also called trema in French. Okay, it exists in I. Now we have one rule in French. I with other vowels, we don't really pronounce I in itself. I with O becomes OA. AI becomes A, like A. EI becomes A. In the pronunciation patterns for the letters or for the vowel patterns, we will cover that in that. But what happens is, in most cases, I in itself doesn't get pronounced. But when we have two dots on I will always get pronounced by itself. The way you pronounce I is E in French, right? E. See, now in French, again, the rule is that whenever we have OI together, it gets pronounced as OA. Okay, so over here, we have OI together. It must be pronounced as egoist. But what happens is we add two dots. Now this becomes E, egoist. Okay, now it's really getting pronounced as the way we want it to get pronounced, egoist. This one. See, we want to pronounce it as heroine, not heroine. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense. Heroine. That's why we add two dots on it so that so the pronunciation of I can stay in itself. If we follow all the French rules, this is getting pronounced as le stoicism. That has to be pronounced as le stoicism. Okay, so that's why we use two dots, le stoicism.